What's your catchphrase?
I don't have one. I'm boring. I don't have a catchphrase. I don't have a nickname. I'm such a boring person.
No, your
And right there's your catchphrase. I don't have a catchphrase. I don't have I'm boring.
You're listening to the Restoration Podcast, conversations of hope and healing. Join us as we talk about subjects dealing with ministry, faith, everyday life, and other hot topics. Our prayer is that these conversations bring encouragement to your life. Okay, happy November, y'all. What's new? What's going on?
What's new? Well, I went to this amazing little conference with Scott and Des Moines.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So, is it like public knowledge, this thing?
Well, I mean, it's public knowledge. I guess it is because
You can move the mic further from your mouth.
I guess it is because
Move it closer to your mouth.
I guess it is public knowledge because the youth pastors in our network know, and I sent in a bio today and a picture to be on the website.
So, everyone, this
Ooh.
is official. Make the announcement here on the Restoration Podcast. Go. To all 12 of our listeners, go.
Scott Michael Veronese, am now the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Youth director?
No, it's not director.
Oh, shoot. DYD?
I'm not the DYD.
Let's try that again.
What's the word?
Director.
No, it's not. Ryan's the director of it. I am the
Assistant to the
Coordinator.
director. Oh,
yes, assistant to the. I am the Youth Alive coordinator for the state of Iowa.
so
The assembly.
what is the difference between the director and the coordinator?
If poop hits the fan, Ryan gets all the problems.
That's crazy.
So
You get all the coffee orders.
the way it's set up is the DYD is when there's a coordinator, the DYD is automatically the
director. Got it.
Because coordinators can change, the director will stay the same.
Okay.
So I am picking up the torch now, and hopefully in preparation to someday have a Youth Alive missionary in the state of Iowa. But I'm just picking up the torch now to be able to do that, be a part of it. I'm excited
So you're the Youth Alive coordinator for the state of Iowa,
for the Assemblies of God,
underneath
yes.
Pastor Ryan, who's our Next Gen director / DYD, but also the director of Youth Alive.
Yes.
For maybe people who don't know what Youth Alive is, what is Youth Alive?
Youth Alive is students sharing Jesus with others. So a lot of the people think that Youth Alive is just about starting Christian clubs in your school, and it's not. What it is empowering students to be campus missionaries on the campus of their life. Now, when I say on the campus of their life, I mean that the campus of their life could be the job that they work.
Yeah.
Could be the house that they live in.
Or
could
their
be
school.
their school. So it's a campus missionary with the aim of being a campus. Your campus is your life. So campus missionary is the term, but it's aimed towards students doing more than just sharing the gospel at school. It's sharing the gospel every day, but also an emphasis on sharing in your school, because your school, most of the kids that go to school, they go to school with a lot of kids that are lost and hurting.
Yeah.
And so we're excited to get it started in Iowa.
That's
So-
huge. I love that. I went to public school, and so Youth Alive's been around for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was another similar ministry in the AG Youth. I cannot remember what it was called, but I remember we went to a youth rally at my church, and the guy in charge of that ministry was this preacher. And at the end, he's like, "If you want to do this, come forward." And I did, and I don't think there was much follow through. I'm not knocking on that ministry or my home district, but I think that that's going to be great that we have a coordinator like you to help with that. Does that make sense? To kind of follow through and stuff. And so very recently I didn't know Cade went. Y'all went to Des Moines for what happened to Cade? What happened? What did y'all do?
Well, actually, it started with me driving from Jackson all the way to Correctionville. And then I rode with Scott to Des Moines. Pretty interesting. It was really not that interesting. It was just another regular drive. Yeah.
But once you got there, what happened?
But when we got there, very not conversational, but very sweet, very inviting. There we go.
Yeah.
Very inviting, and it was just It was a great time. I will say there was a couple things obviously repeated many a times because they're really trying to emphasize that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I had a blast doing it.
And it was the training. Is that what it was?
Yes,
The live training?
let me tell you how Cade got to come. I'm sitting there.
Thanks for the invite, by
I'm
the way.
telling Cade exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to Des Moines, get trained, blah blah. He just looks at me and goes, "Can I come?"
Oh, really?
And I was like, "I don't know. Let me ask." So when Ryan, our DYD, came and spoke at our youth group that
Right.
on Wednesday,
The previous Wednesday.
the
Yeah.
previous Wednesday, and so I asked him then, "Hey, do you care if Cade comes with me?"
Cade is our church intern.
Yes, and because he'll be helping me with a lot of the ground and footwork
Right.
at the beginning of this thing, so I thought it'd be nice to have him get kind of trained in that stuff too. So he was like, "Yeah," and so Cade came with me. We had a good time. The first day, we literally pulled into the IMN office parking lot at 9:40. Walked inside, sat down, talked for 10 minutes, and then from 10 o'clock till like 11:30, 12, we were getting taught, and then we ate lunch together, and then 45 minutes later jumped back in until 5 o'clock. So my brain was mush at the end of that
Dang.
because there was so much information going on.
Oh yeah. You can only sit and receive info for so long.
And I'm such a processor that I was sitting there trying to process stuff bit by bit. And I was processing so much that at 4 a.m. I woke up and was processing more and had ideas coming and things like that at 4 a.m. And I was like, I need to go back to bed. It's too early for this.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like in the middle of the night, I just wake up at
You
4
too?
a.m. Well, it wasn't to process. I just wake up, I open my eyes, and Scott's right there, and I'm like, Is it almost time?" And he's like, "Go back to sleep," and I'm like, "Jeez."
Y'all spent the night there?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what? Why is Scott in your bed at home? I was like, what?
No.
Y'all spent the
spent
night.
the
Got
night,
it.
so
Okay.
We spent the night. Ryan got us a hotel room.
Gotcha,
We each had our
gotcha.
own bed in a double queen
Okay, that
suite.
makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But so the next day,
Um,
so we stayed the night. The next day, woke up, met them in the morning, started at 9, and from 9 till 11:30, we got kind of trained on how to train people.
Yeah.
And so walked through all that, had some good conversations. It was a good time. It was refreshing. And then after that, I got to go see some friends that I know in Des Moines.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's
Des Moines.
awesome. I love that because I think it's crucial that in today's youth groups, youth ministries, that we get creative and offer as many tools as possible for our students to be able to share Jesus and be bold in their faith, right?
One of the coolest stories I heard, there was a guy who was a Youth Alive missionary in his district, and he was for years and years and years, and then he stopped and became a youth pastor. And he took a youth group that had like 25 kids that now has like 375 kids every week.
Hmm.
And when asked how'd he do it, he said, "I just did what I've been telling youth pastors to do as a Youth Alive missionary for years. I just did it, and it
Hmm.
worked."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Huh, man, what if all those youth pastors would listen?"
So you had mentioned this earlier, but now as the Youth Alive coordinator, you're doing something at Fall Youth Convention.
Yes, I will be speaking 2 breakout sessions at Fall Youth Convention, and then
No pressure.
and then and then I think I'll be doing a session at our Refresh conference for
Oh,
our
nice.
next gen leaders, a
So-
training, and then from now every time we train, I'll be traveling to different parts of the network in Iowa to train not only youth students but youth pastors on how to do this. And so I'm hoping the Refresh conference gets a good crowd because we can train our youth pastors how to bring the fire to their students.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then how are we implementing that here at Restoration Youth?
So, one of the many ways we have students that are currently have the resources to start Youth Alive clubs, to start Youth Alive movements on their school. But now that I'm trained, I'm planning on having a training night with our students to start it. And then there's a sermon series that I have that I'm going to start on. Also, in January, we're having a Youth Alive conference, which was originally just going to be for our youth group and then Sioux City. But I've recently opened it up to the network.
Nice.
So all the youth pastors in the Assemblies of God in the state of Iowa have received an invitation to either, even if I told them, even if you just come yourself,
Yeah.
to learn and to grow, that would benefit your youth ministry.
You don't have to bring students if it's just you.
Yes.
Yeah, take back the knowledge.
And I think it would benefit youth pastors to come to that conference and bring 1 to 2 students.
Yeah, I like that.
Because if you get 1 to 2 students on fire about this and get them passionate about it, then the other students will see that they're on fire and passionate about it, and they'll want to be passionate about it.
That's awesome. That's exciting. I'm glad that you were approached. I'm glad that you prayerfully considered and said, yes, I think you'll be great. And then, Kate, I didn't know you went to the training. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to see that. So how many people were there in Des Moines?
So it was me, Ryan Yates, Cade Stadema.
Studma. It's actually
Stud muffin.
Stadema.
Then there was Billy and Katie Willis, who are Youth Alive missionaries to the state of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually close friends with them because they actually came and did a Youth Alive tour through the state of Iowa 2 years ago. And he came to our youth group and did
I remember that.
Wednesday night.
I remember that.
And then he preached our week of summer camp, not this last summer camp, but the year before, 2024.
Four.
Wait.
It's 5 now, so it'd be 3.
No, yeah, it was 2024 because
Okay, 4, okay.
2025 we already did. So he taught 2024 summer camp our week that we went, which was awesome. He did a great job. Got to connect with him then, and then he's actually him and his wife are going to be the ones that are speaking and leading our youth conference in January.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
And
Glad
then
y'all got that.
Our national Youth Alive director Lee Rogers was there as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you got some free merch,
I did. I got some free
some
stuff.
swag.
It was funny. Lee Rogers gave me a hat and a shirt. And I don't know if he ever saw me. I don't think I've ever met the guy, so I didn't give him too much flack for it. But I wear a 3X shirt, and this man gave me an XL shirt, and I was like, I ain't fitting this shirt. So my wife got a free shirt.
Nice.
And then I got a couple hats, and then Ryan gave us some stuff too.
That's always really cool to get free stuff. That's not why we go to these things, but like
I'm a big merch person.
yeah, merch is hot right now. Like that's of course you want merch. Like and it helps promote. So
The more T-shirts I can find and have that have the Assemblies of God
right,
stuff, the more
AG stuff.
the
yeah.
more stuff I can wear to work.
Which you're wearing one right now, the Youth Alive. I'm wearing one right now. Just generic AG.
I'm not.
What do you wear? What is this?
It's a Ben Fuller shirt. I got it while I was at Lifelight.
You do have really cool shirts though, Cade. Like I like seeing your T-shirts you wear. That's
I
in
don't
your
think I've
rota-
ever
that's
seen
in
you
your-
wear a
That's
blank
in your
t-shirt.
rotation. Yeah.
No, I don't wear blank T-shirts. I think that was my good old days, 2023. Yeah, those good times.
So 2 years ago you wore blank T-shirts, but now you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
What changed?
Jesus came into my life.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good answer.
yeah.
Hey, well, today's main topic we were going to dive into was actually Cade's idea.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. I liked it. It was really uplifting, and that's the whole point of this.
We were just gonna talk about heaven, you know? You feel me? I don't exactly
Why
know
did-
what we're gonna talk
Why did that come to your mind? Was it just random, or
It was just completely random. Like, I think so. The thing that actually got me onto that was, so if you don't know me, initially I grew up Catholic, and my whole family is Catholic, and I've always questioned like purgatory.
and by the way, we will sit down and hear your whole testimony eventually. I promise, for real.
Yay.
So, but continue.
But like purgatory is always an interesting topic for me, and I was just always thinking about that and just like heaven.
Right.
And usually, if you actually, I could probably scroll up for a few text messages before, but I usually like to talk about heaven to my friends, just like Lexi being one of them. Sometimes I'm always like, you ever wonder what? Stop it, Scott. But you ever wonder what heaven would be like?
Right.
And we'd always just like throw up random like things that we always just think it's about, you know? And obviously, I think I was actually listening to Phil Wickham's.
Song of Heaven.
No, it actually wasn't. It was What an Awesome God.
Oh yeah, the newer one. Yeah.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great topic though, and I like that you say you talk to friends about it because eternity is not really something we think about because we live on this world. We live in such a day-to-day, moment-by-moment kind of mindset. And actually, when I first got hired, I didn't think about this, but I didn't realize. I knew I was gonna be the worship pastor, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna lead worship, all that stuff, and the tech stuff. I was like, oh, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And then when I first came, I came in summer of 2021. There was a wedding, and then there was a funeral, and I was like, I didn't realize I had to help with like funerals. And so we have a good sized congregation. We're blessed. And so because of that, we have funerals pretty, not frequently, but it's a thing that happens every year. And so, I don't know if you know this, or Scott, if you even know this, but what happens is when there's a family member that passes away, the family, if they want to have this ceremony here, like celebration of life, they meet with Pastor Johnny to go over details like what they want, other things like that. And then I sit in on those meetings because if we host here at our church a celebration of life, music is an important part of celebration of life services. And so I have to like hear what the family wants. Sometimes they want me to sing the song. Sometimes they just want canned Spotify. I don't mind doing either for helping the family. Anyway, I say all that because with me having those meetings pretty like not often, but it's a normal part of my job. That thought of eternity and what happens after life or after death, it always comes back. It's like it's a focus on my mind, and then especially at the celebration of life because Pastor Johnny covers it. And then it's like after a while I forget about it. I don't think about it, but then it comes back. And so like Scott, how often do you think about like heaven or life after death or life after here on earth? Is that something you think about a lot?
Not all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff I've thought about, but I think sometimes too, from a different perspective, Christians think, oh, I'm saved now. I just got to live this life, suffer, and then I'll be in heaven someday. But I think I think a lot of Christians need to realize that we can have heaven on earth.
That's true too.
And so that's the perspective that I've seen a lot is a lot of people like, oh, I can't wait to get to heaven to get rid of all this junk that's around me, blah, blah. But it's like, God's called us to live heaven on earth. But yeah, I've thought about heaven. I've thought about what it's going to be like.
Who are you most excited to meet other than Jesus in heaven? It could be a Bible person. It could be a family member.
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad passed away going on 5 years ago. And ever since his funeral, I've always said it that he's going to be the first person I look for in heaven.
Cade, what about you?
For me, I'm going to be honest.
Or Abraham Lincoln. Hopefully he's up there.
This guy. But probably one of the people I've like always wanted to meet, like truly truly meet, was actually Job. Like with all of his like, trials and everything else, like everything getting taken away, he was still faithful. Like it's always just an interesting person that I've always just wanted to meet because of all the trials he went through, and it was still.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll do a biblical person and a person from. So who's your biblical person, Scott?
My
from the
biblical
Bible
person.
It can be Jesus. That's fine.
Oh, well, that's unfair.
No, I'm kidding. It can't be Jesus.
Kate's like, dang it.
'Cause he's the top of everyone's list. But
Would have said that.
Who's your biblical person, Scott? You can't wait to meet and ask questions and just talk to. I'll go.
Honestly, it would have to be Paul.
Yeah.
Because
the first Youth Alive director. No.
Yeah. Well, to just sum it up, like going from Saul to Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
come on.
I would love to sit down and just hear, like, what was it like when you were in your Saul era and you were doing the Saul things, you were murdering, persecuting Christians, and thought that was what was right.
Yeah.
And then what was it like when you switched over and you were saved and started becoming one of the biggest catalysts for the Christian faith ever? I mean, I think he wrote, I want to say 6 books of the New Testament.
I mean, his writings are like a bulk of a lot of sermons and series and preachings. Like our faith is and it's crazy that it was Saul, the same guy, wrote all that influential writings. But
I think that's just something that I would love to sit down and just ask questions.
Cade, who's a person you know on earth you can't wait to see in heaven?
Person on earth. I don't actually know because
you've never had anybody close to you die?
No, the closest person was my grandma. But
you didn't know her that well?
I didn't. I was like 2 or 3 when she died. And
the older you get, I mean, it's not depressing, but the older you get, the closer people get to you.
Yeah.
But I get that. I've been there. Person I want to talk to in heaven from the Bible was Moses, hands down, and just be like,
Moeezy,
like talk me through like your life. Like I want to meet you. Like I'm fascinated with his life and with Exodus. And then a person that I knew on earth, it's kind of a tie. I want to see my abuelito, my grandfather. It's funny because I actually never met him, so that's why I'm excited to meet him because I've only heard stories about him.
How would you recognize him?
I'll recognize him. I've seen pictures.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one is my childhood pastor growing up. Brother Canthu is what we called him. He was our pastor for over 50 years, so that's going to be kind of cool. But anyway, that's one of the aspects of heaven that's so cool is that you'll be reunited with loved ones who you lost, who went way before you and stuff like that. I will say sometimes when you think about eternity, it can be kind of scary. Like,
Yeah.
what are we going to do like for eternity, you know? But I think Pastor Johnny described it this way. I think when he came back from vacation one summer, he was like, because they go to the beach every year, and he's like, when I'm there, I'm just like so relaxed, and I love it, and I love just sitting on the beach and stuff. And he goes, the way he described it once was that is just like a grain of rice compared to what heaven will be like. Like you'll be so like overtly stimulated in a good way, you won't even think about like, oh, like this is forever. Like you're gonna want it to last forever, if that makes sense. I actually looked up some scriptures of what the Bible says about heaven. If I can read some of those, see. So and some of it's kind of a mystery too. We don't really know, you know, and I kind of like that as well. It's gonna be kind of more of a surprise, you know. John 14:2 and 3. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, I would not have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. I will come back and take you with me, that you also may be where I am. And then the famous pearly gates is also described in Revelation. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives light, and the Lamb is its lamp. It's kind of cool. And another great one here is Revelation 21, chapter 21. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. My mind can't like comprehend that. Like a world with no sickness, no crying, no mourning. And I just think, I don't know. I think that's going to be amazing to experience. And Tori put it in this way too. Like, I don't want to die. You know, I don't want to go through that. Actually, my DYD growing up, he always talked about that, and he always said, "I'm going up in the rapture. I'm just claiming it right now. Okay, I'm not going to experience death." You know,
Is he still alive?
he's still alive. Yeah, he is. And so, and I told Tori, I was like, I don't want to leave you. Like, I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my job, whatever. And Tori put in perspective this way, my wife, she goes, well, you're thinking in like human mind right now. Like when we go to heaven, we'll be in spirit. Like you'll have a totally different like mindset. And then have you ever had dreams about heaven or no? Like a glimpse? No.
Never.
I'm sure you've seen like the books and like interviews of people that die, go to heaven for a few minutes. I don't know how I feel about that. Like there was a famous one in the early thousands. Was it 90 minutes or 9 minutes in heaven or whatever? And there's been a ton since then.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's, I mean, it's beautiful or whatever, but like I will say one time I had this dream that I was in like it looked like the small chapel in my home church growing up. And I remember sitting there, and I remember in my dream I heard the most beautiful like music I had ever heard in my life. And I heard like just like a few seconds of it. I literally started bawling because it was so beautiful. And I woke up and I described the dream to Tori, and she turned to me and she goes, "You experienced heavenly music. Like that was just a small glimpse." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Dang.
Like I would love to spend like a long time in there. It was amazing. And so,
Jeez.
but I like our earthly bodies just don't. Our earthly minds can't really comprehend like what that's gonna be like. But I'm thankful that's where I'll spend eternity, right? Like, and not in the lake of fire. You know, like I don't want that. I've already experienced summer and I can't take it, so I don't know how I'm gonna take eternal burning and stuff like that. But
Anytime I think about heaven, what comes to mind is that song, I Can Only Imagine.
oh, of course,
And I remember listening to that song when I was in high school or junior high, even though that song's much older than that. And I remember sitting there and, like, you know, you listen to songs and you don't really comprehend what they're
Right.
saying. They're just in the background. But I remember one time I was listening to it and I was actively sitting and listening to the lyrics. And I started thinking about, like, what it would be like to be in heaven. And I just remember this piece that passed over me was so insane.
mm-hmm.
And I just started weeping. And I had no idea why. I wasn't sad, but I just started weeping. And I mean, the only thing I could describe is it was the presence of God just falling over me. And I was just like, man, I could only imagine what it would be like to be in heaven
Yeah,
and to be there. And I always say this jokingly, but I think it would be really fun. One day I would love to just play basketball with Jesus in heaven. I just think that would be so fun. Like, I don't know. I feel like he'd let me win, but definitely. But he would have to.
I'm sure
You
there's
can walk
also I'm sure there's also a heavenly orchestra I'll be able to play in. You know, like that's got to be a thing.
Who was it that walked on the water to Jesus? Was it
Peter?
Peter? I would like to talk to Peter about that moment
Mm.
where he walked on the water and like what. And I know in the Bible it says, he took his eyes off Jesus, whatever, and he fell. But I would love, I don't know. I've always like when you think of as a kid going to heaven, and they always talk about like, I mean, when I was a kid, all of our friends used to, oh, what's our house gonna look like in heaven?
Mhm.
And I would love a 95-inch TV
Oh my word.
that is playing.
This guy.
No, and I'm serious. Serious. I want a 95-inch TV that is only playing those stories in the Bible as they were actually happening.
Oh.
Mm.
So I could watch that moment where Peter was walking out on the water, and I can watch it and see Peter himself and Jesus himself walking on the water. Like, I just think that would be so dope to just sit there. Like, it would be like is it The Chosen? Be like The Chosen, but times a million.
For
'cause
real, yeah.
it's for realsies.
So, did y'all ever think that some of our like unanswered questions about the Bible would be answered to when we're in heaven? Like,
Oh, yeah.
if there's ever have there ever been a passage where you're like, "What?" You can get clarification. When I was at Evangel, we had a Bible professor. He said it was my new Old Testament professor, and he said that in heaven there's going to be like different booths, and on top there's going to be a sign that has some kind of earthly problem, and you can just go up and ask like why. Like one is like hurricanes or like children with cancer or like all those questions that like you have burning. And he goes, when you go to heaven from a distance, you're going to see people go to those booths and ask questions. There's going to be like an angel stationed in each one. And then you're going to see, they're going to go to the booth. You won't hear the conversation. You'll see the question. And then you're going to see the person walk away, like hitting their head, like, oh, of course. It all makes sense now. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I feel like that is a question we ask a lot of times. This
Yeah.
question is why.
Yeah, and those may get answered. Or, and again, back to Tori's thing, that may not even be like on the forefront of your mind at all, because you're gonna be in heaven, like you're gonna be in paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, hey, one more super off-topic question that I hope y'all did your homework for, but it's a little early. Super Bowl is in February, right? What are we, 3 months ahead?
By golly.
Super random. I was just curious.
By golly.
Let's say the NFL came out tomorrow and said, "Hey, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna have only Christian artists take part."
Mercy me.
We're only gonna have Christian artists do the national anthem and halftime. Who would y'all want to see do that?
100% national anthem, and if you say anybody else, I'll punch you in the mouth. CC Whining.
I was actually thinking Laurel Daigle. Daigle?
Lauren Daigle.
Daigle?
I'm
I
sure
would've
she's
picked
that.
actually done it. She
I
did
was
it
like, who is
last year.
really?
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
did
who
it.
is Diagle?
Yeah, she did it. Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty. Well, it was either the national anthem or there was like a pre-show that she did.
I was
Oh.
pretty sure she did the national anthem.
Google it.
Maybe not at the Super Bowl.
I bet you it was a pre-show. Yeah, CeCe Winans. Okay, and then halftime what?
Halftime. Now, this is from my day and age, and these two artists don't make any sense together. But Skillet and Lecrae would make my
What?
heart melt.
It wouldn't work though.
I know. Well, okay, fine. Skillet or Lecrae.
There we go.
Okay, that's better. There you go.
Okay.
Mercy me.
Cade. Who you got?
Probably Red Rocks Worship playing some Spirit of Elijah. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Aaron. But
He's not.
this guy. I don't know. I was actually thinking about like pretty cool. Sorry. Elevation Worship. I don't know. I just really I enjoy their
halftime?
songs. Yeah.
And then who'd you say for national anthem? You agree with CeCe?
I can go with CC or Lauren.
Oh, that's right. You said Lauren Daigle.
Yep.
I would say CeCe Winans is good, but I would want to see David Phelps. He's a tenor with like gospel.
Is he like a big swimmer like Michael? Or
No,
no?
Are they
That-
related?
Michael Phelps would be interesting. I don't think he would do that, but no, they're not related to my knowledge. David Phelps is a phenomenal singer, and like I always told Tori, we should have him do the national anthem. And then for a halftime, this is just me. I would want to see like Need to Breathe and Switchfoot. I think that'd be a good combination.
I would agree with those. Need
I
to
think
Breathe and Switchfoot are
That'd
really
be
good.
that'd be good.
Never heard of Switchfoot
Oh my gosh.
until 2 weeks ago when
Oh
Aaron
my.
put it on and
We have failed him.
We're gonna fix that this week. We're just gonna put it on repeat.
You are not. Anytime you are at the church, you are not allowed to listen to anything but Switchfoot.
this week.
What about Spirit of Elijah? Just wondering.
The Switchfoot saying that?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
And the answer is no. No, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, heaven and Super Bowl, those go hand in hand. No.
Thanks for watching or listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, add this show to your library. And if you could drop us a rating or review, that would be awesome. Love y'all. Shalom.